Hello, this is John Broadwell, creator of the Serial Wombat open source project and an embedded systems consultant and medical device development consultant at my company, Broadwell Consulting Incorporated. Today I wanted to let you know about the first significant bug that I have found in the Serial Wombat 4B chip. So the question is, who does this bug affect? Anyone who is using the Serial Wombat 4B chip as an I2C to UART converter at 115,200 baud and is transmitting, essentially sending data out, there is a possibility that the chip can send the same byte twice, even if it's only queued once. So the question is, how did this happen? There's a flaw in the Microchip PIC16F15214 microcontroller that runs the Serial Wombat 4B firmware. And it turns out that even Microchip didn't know about this flaw for quite a long time. If we take a look for microcontrollers, they publish what's called an errata sheet, which is a list of all the known flaws in the silicon. And if we take a look at this, we come down here and we say, oh, okay, UART, double byte transmit. That's exactly what we're seeing. And so that was 1.31. And 1.31 was added on 10 of 21. The Serial Wombat chip was released on in January and then updated in March of 2020. And I did not have this come in from the field. I found it myself. We'll talk about this a little bit later. So how common is this bug? Probably not a lot. It only will affect a subset of people using the Serial Wombat 4B chip. It could be important to you if you're doing exactly what this says. It appears to be timing based. I have for years been running unit tests on the Serial Wombat 4B against the Serial Wombat 18AB chip. You can see here, this is a schematic of a custom PCB I built that runs one Serial Wombat 18AB chip against 4 Serial Wombat 4B chips. And in my unit testing, I tested 300, 1200, 2400, different baud rates up to 115,200, sending data from the Serial Wombat 18AB into Serial Wombat 4B chips and vice versa, going back, varying random packets, random lengths, random data, and essentially checking to see, did the data that one chip sent get successfully received by the other chip? And ultimately, outside of the schematic, there's an Arduino chip that is talking to all 5 of these chips simultaneously or in round-robin fashion over I2C. So whatever it was, I ran the exact same chips on the exact same tests on Arduino for years, and the problem never showed up. Enter Python. As you guys know from some of my previous videos, I'm in the process of porting all of these various library files from the Arduino over to Python so that we can run it in MicroPython or on the Raspberry Pi. And lo and behold, they started failing tests at 115,200. And the interesting thing about that is, I didn't see it under the Arduino, but I did under Python, even though in theory the tests should be exactly the same. So it's definitely something that's mildly timing related. A lot of people could go along and never see it. So just to take a look at the exact bug, I have set up here my Salier logic analyzer, which is running the Serial Wombat protocol analyzer as well. I keep this running when I'm running my unit tests, and it reports out over I2C when I get a fail. And essentially, we're saying we were looking for a byte to be received. We expected 5C, and we got F3. Why is that? Well, if we go back and we take a look at the actual bytes that were transmitted by the Serial Wombat 4B chip received by the Serial Wombat 18AB chip, we see it said I expected to get F3, I got 5C, and we notice in here there's a duplication. The 5C shows up twice. And so you ask yourself, is that a problem with the chip, or was it a problem with the library? Did we tell it to send 2 in a row? And so we can come back here and look at the protocol conversion of what the command we sent to the Serial Wombat 6 4B chip over I²C, and we look and we say, okay, 0B, that's a send 7 bytes command, and we sent the bytes AC6D, 40, E5, 5C, and F3. So remember these 3 bytes that we queued up, E5, 5C, and F3. And then we go back again. This line is what's actually going in and out of the UART, and we see E5, 5C, 5C, F3. So the chip absolutely was commanded to do the right thing, and it absolutely dumped out 2 bytes in a row that were the same. So, you know, this is obviously problematic for anybody who bought the chip specifically to run at 115.2 and to transmit out UART based on I²C input. So how can we work around it? I'm going to look at a way to update the library that will way slow down the rate at which the Arduino sends in the bytes. That will incur a significant performance penalty. And this will be turned off by default because I really don't think this bug is hitting a lot of people. I think you have to be just right in your timing. So I'm not going to hit everybody with that performance penalty for now. And it'll be optional to turn on. I'll add it to the documentation on the Arduino Python libraries, and this video obviously will be up. So, but the downside is that, you know, you'll see a huge decrease in the rate at which you can send out data. But that may be better for some users than having an occasional erroneous communication occur. And will it be fixed? I'm going to attempt to add logic that works around this bug in the microcontroller in a new firmware version. There's a couple of suggestions from Microchip on how to work around this, but a lot of them rely on waiting until the transmit buffer is empty. And because of the interrupt-driven nature of the Serial Wombat 4B chip, it may not be possible to do that and also have the other pin modes fulfill their purpose and behave equivalently. Essentially, adding a delay to fix this problem in the chip may screw up some of the other pin modes, and I won't do that for what is essentially one thing on one mode at one baud rate on one pin mode. So, and if that's the case, then I'll document it. Or it's possible that I'll add a configurable thing in the chip that will allow you to enable that if you're saying all I'm using the 4B for is UART conversion, so I'm willing to accept that and not, you know, use it for pulse measurement or some of the other things that it might mess up. So anyway, that's still to be decided. I found this bug yesterday and wanted to get notice out to everybody, be as transparent as I can about what's going on. So let me know if you've seen this. Comment down below if you've seen this kind of logic problem, or if you've ever seen it at baud rates other than 115/200. And, you know, all that information is useful to me. Other than that, keep an eye out for a new library and a new firmware version sometime in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, I want to go back and test this, make sure I don't break anything else when I implement this. So, but that's all I have for today. Have fun, keep making stuff, and again, let me know what you're up to and any issues that you're having. You can always email me at help@serialwombat.com. The Serial Wombat firmware is available on GitHub and is constantly being updated. Subscribe below so that you can see the latest features and videos that come out as we fix bugs and add new features. The Serial Wombat open source project was created by Broadwell Consulting Incorporated. Broadwell Consulting Incorporated provides help developing medical devices with a focus on developing embedded firmware, which is compliant with IEC 62304, ISO 14971, and ISO 13485, as well as remediation assistance for products already in production. For more information, contact John at Broadwell Consulting. Support requests for Serial Wombat should be sent to help@serialwombat.com and will be answered on an as-available basis. Also, feel free to leave your question in the comments below.